Every part you've ever relied on, from your car's engine to the watch on your wrist to the soda can you drink out of, begins the same way. A raw piece of metal, a spinning machine, and a single invisible part that holds everything in place. Most people never see it. Yet without it, almost nothing in the modern world gets made. Today, we're finally giving this unsung hero its moment. Meet the Chuck. No, not that Chuck. Guys, stop hijacking my dramatic intro. This video is supposed to be classy. Please, just one normal Chuck. Yes, there it is. The device that grips, centers, and steadies every turned part. So join us on this episode of Road Trippin with Steve as we explore this incredible device holding the manufacturing world together.
Thanks, man. You like my mullet? Does it look like I know how to make a cheeseburger? What's up, everybody? We're back at Road Trippin with Steve. How have you been? It's been a while. Guess where we are today? We're at one of AMT's longtime members, SMW Autoblock. They've got a rich history, being founded in 1942 in Turin, Italy, and they are masters of work holding in the chuck, but they've got a really rich history in their leadership, some of the best personalities. Let's go see what Larry Robbins has cooked up for us. Come on. Larry!
Thanks, man.
What's going on, man? Thanks
for
having me.
Yeah, no
Sean,
problem.
how's it going, dude?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you finally in person.
Same.
So, just kick things off, keep it real lighthearted. Silly, stupid question. What is an Autoblock?
Autoblock, the name Autoblock came from the original owner, Domenico Bronzino, started the company in 1942. And then close to the mid-40s, he had his biggest customer, who was Fiat, call and say, hey, we have all these American chucks.
Okay.
And we can't get parts for them. Can you take it apart and reverse engineer the parts? So he did. And then he had ideas to make a better product. So he created his own chuck. And that's how SMW Autoblock started.
Larry's talking a lot here. He does that. He's really good at that. But to understand Autoblock, we need to talk about chuck again. At its simplest, a chuck is a rotating clamp with jaws that move in and out to hold the part. But once you start mixing in speed, heat, balance, and micron level tolerances, that simple clamp becomes one of the most engineered devices on the machine and one of the most safety critical pieces of hardware in the entire manufacturing world. Most people never notice it. Most machinists don't think about it unless it fails. But at SMW Autoblock, well, they think and talk about them constantly.
This chuck, then a chuck comes off the chuck.
Too hard to notice all the ways you light up my life.
You know, people treat a chuck like they treat a saw.
And while obsessing over chucks all day might sound like a lot, to SMW, a chuck isn't just a chuck, and they aren't stopping at just one design.
You know, we started with standard 3-jaw chucks. We don't even show them anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like anything else. We call it rope, soap, and dope. It's what started this company, but a lot of companies start and never advance. We continue to innovate and advance and change all the time. So we've gone from standard product to now much more specialized.
SMW saw chucks as more than just standard. For them, it's a shape-shifting, force-controlling, distortion-fighting, sometimes computer-driven mechanical creature, each one designed for a very specific job. But how crazy can a chuck get?
This is something that kind of made us the company we are today, is quick draw change chuck. SMW Germany, back in the 80s, came up with the idea of a quick draw change chuck that you literally took the whole master jaw out of the chuck. So you take this out. So you see, you have a wedge bar that actuates so as this actuates from behind, that wedge bar moves, and that's what dictates your movement of your jaws. A standard chuck has a wedge where there's an angle cut for the T-nuts for your jaw, or for your masters to float in. And the steeper that wedge, the more travel you have, but the less grip force you have.
Gotcha.
With this, your grip force is constant. Where a standard 3-jaw chuck will lose up to 70% of its grip force at rotation. This loses less than 50 generally, time after time. The things that we specialized in and changed over the years, when this first came out, it was a standard KNCS chuck. you could put this part in, you could put your jaw into the chuck, and in the past, people would slide in and I'll override it. They'd be clamping on one serration.
Okay.
This chuck clamp, in an 8-inch version, this exerts up to 20,000 pounds of grip force. Envision that holding on one tooth. But you still have the same grip force, you just tear the bottom of the master jaw out. So we make this where you can either bolt a soft top jaw on, bolt a hard top jaw on, or we make what we call monoblock jaws. We make them soft and hard. And what it allows you to do basically, and this is another safety feature. So if you don't cycle that chuck or don't cycle the safety, once I actuate it, you can't pull that jaw, you can't pull that out. If you were to cycle this chuck with that thing in, you would shear what we call a cam bolt internally, the chuck would not work. And for ours, we sell this dummy wrench with everything we sell, so customers can now, it's the wrong one. Customers can now be assured that when they actuate this chuck, by the time they bypass that safety, they now have full engagement between the wedge bar and the master jaw itself.
Yeah, so like Larry said, if you get that in the wrong tooth, this never comes out. So it's a visual and a physical.
Even if I get this,
And it does all that mechanically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible the thought behind even this mechanical chuck design Larry just showed off, and the safety features they build into it. And like he had mentioned, there were even more specialized designs, and it was pretty overwhelming the amount of specialization they were able to build into all of these different chucks. We spent nearly an hour going through all of their iterations, both electronic, magnetic, pneumatic, and of course the future of robotics applications. And it feels like we barely scratched the surface. For those of you nerds out there that want to see the full, almost hour-long showcase of all the chucks, you can see the full video linked in the description below.
We're constantly creating products that the market's never seen before. And that's what makes us the company we are and the company people want to deal with. And it's not just about product, guys. It's about offering the customer a solution. You know, anybody could sell a product. I want to sell a solution that fixes a problem.
And here's the part I didn't expect. These aren't mass produced. Almost everything Autoblock makes is custom, a one-off solution for a single customer with a very specific problem. Which means the only way to understand how they pull this off is to go inside the place where these chucks are actually born.
So Steve, just to give you an idea how we do what we do, we're going to give you a little tour of our manufacturing facility and just give you an idea of what we do day to day here.
So here we have one of our larger lathes.
Okay.
It does most of the adapters we make. So in here in the US, we design the accessories for our standard product.
Okay.
So if a customer needs one of our chucks mounted on a machine, we'll have engineering design it, and then here we actually fabricate it. So we have two lathes, a large one and a small one. We'll see that one in a second. But it currently is machining one of our adapters, using one of our products.
And that was something of a recurring theme for this part of the tour, how much SMW customizes not only the main chucks for their customers, but the tooling that goes along with it, manufacturing their products with their own products.
So to my left, sorry, Variaxis i500, smaller 5-axis machine. We're doing these pieces right here.
Okay. They're gorgeous.
We're using our vices. Here's one of our vices that we use. And we're able to clamp on a very, very small length and machine the majority of that part. So now when we flip it over, we only have to worry about removing that much material.
Wow.
Instead of removing like another vise, a lot more material. So we save a whole bunch of money on material there.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we do here, we do very well. We try to utilize our own product in as many operations as we can, as often as we can. There are still operations where we, in the past, have been chastised for using some of our competitors' products, but sometimes that's what it takes.
And is this a final part right here?
So this one is finished, yes.
Okay,
This
because that's beautiful. I noticed a lot of manufacturers will do a post-processing operation on their parts, but those are beautiful machine marks. That's like the Geneva stripes on a Swiss watch.
Yeah, so you can see it, but you can't actually feel it. It's pretty. it's non-existent. It's all visual, cosmetic.
One thing that I've noticed with SMW is their commitment to meeting their customers' very specific needs and working with them even when things get a little heated, which is something I wanted to ask Larry about.
You dropped this great quote that I love, and I want you to elaborate on it, but you said, customers are like children. If you don't adapt and change, they're gonna kill you.
The truth to that is, there's situations we get into where a customer will send us information, sign off on approvals, get to part and go, this doesn't work. We're like, well, send it, and it's not what they sent us to start with. Well, historically, we're the company that people come back to, and they'll say, hey, this may be our error, how can you help us? A lot of times we'll go, listen, you made the error, but let us show you where you made the error so next time it's not wrong. And there are times we'll say to the customer, I'm sorry, we can't do this for free, but we'll help you any way we can. The demeanor of that conversation changes immediately when they know you're there to help them.
Yeah.
And I say to people, vent, get it out. I'm here to help you. When you want me to start helping, let's talk like adults. So it's made us more valuable to our customers, more flexible to deal with, and allows us to control our deliveries, our production, and our quality all in-house.
So tell us what you think about Chucks in the comments below, and if you liked this episode, be sure to check out our next video as we travel to Mazak right here.